Welcome to Winfield's week of Rugby League, another incredible week of football where those semi-final spots are certainly wide open in the 1987 Winfield Cup. Of course, we'll be bringing you all the action of the Saturday match of the day between Canterbury, Bankstown and Canberra, the Sunday clash between East and South, all the action from the other games played last Sunday, as well as the highlights of the Monday night clash under the lights at Leichhardt Oval between Balmain and Penrith. But let's go back to last Saturday at Seaford Sports Ground. The Canberra Raiders were at home to Canterbury, Bankstown. For Canberra, they had to win to climb back into the top 5 of the Winfield Cup. For Canterbury, a loss would see them drop back to 6th position.
Mick Stone's the referee, and we're going to see Canterbury defending the northern end of the park in the first half, and Canberra down that southern or scoreboard end as Gary Belcher takes the ball and immediately runs it back towards the Canberra quarter line.
Interesting that Canberra have elected to run into the wind in the first half. They must be expecting it to pick up in the second.
I suppose that's what they call a home ground advantage, Mark.
Yes, it certainly is, and they'll know each blade of grass out here, but it's very, very slippery out here this afternoon, and I'm sure that Canberra need to use a kicking game in order to turn Canterbury around and make sure they do. Already we've seen a penalty in the first minute, but Canberra would be well advised to use their halves, particularly Henjack and O'Sullivan, to keep Canterbury backpedal.
Canberra will be really looking forward to scoring a try against the Bulldogs this afternoon. They didn't get one in the first round when they went down 23-4. O'Sullivan, and he is the little man who can really break up the opposition. Very quick, finds a hole, and there's Jackson, his first run of the afternoon. Young man who's come on in leaps and bounds in recent years. Quickly across the back line, now getting out there amongst the centres and taking that ball up is Ashley Gilbert. Gilbert down over the quarter line, looking for support. He's got it away, O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan links up with Backo. Backo's almost in the clear. It goes to Walters, away to Jackson, and on to Kinner, and Chris Kinner scores the try. Canberra in front. Good football from Gilbert that opened it up, but beautifully finished off across the back line, and Chris Kinner scores the try, and the Raiders are leading 4-0.
What magnificent football from the Canberra team here. The way they kept the ball alive. Firstly, it was Gilbert on the burst, cutting back into the ruck, pushes away from the Canterbury hooker Bucket there, or Folkes it was, into the clear, looks for support there at the last moment, and there it was. It actually the ball getting knocked back to O'Sullivan. He kept it going as it travels out through the backs, then linking up there. Great football as they keep it moving through Jackson, and finally finished off almost with a forward pass there. Brilliant try to Kinner. The football out to Gilbert, the power of the man as he pushes through one, then starts to look for support as he comes to the final defence. A little step there, pulling in two men. The ball goes back to O'Sullivan. He cuts across field looking for the support. He knew that they had to be out wide there because Canterbury's defence had come in. Finally out to Jackson, and the final pass over in the corner.
So here's the attempted conversion goal. Matthew Corkery taking over the kicking duties. Ashley Gilbert still down in the back play after he got hit rather high as he got that ball away. That kick looks pretty good. What a great kick! Super kick from Matthew Corkery, and the Raiders have skipped away to lead early on. After just 5 minutes of play, it's the Raiders leading by 6 points to 0. Ashley Gilbert, though, I think is going to spend a few minutes in the sin bin, the head bin. He got hit very late, well, not so late, but very high, as he got that pass away that really did set up the first try.
No, he's very groggy, and he got a high tackle, but he continued on, got the pass away, and we must congratulate the tremendous support play from the Canberra side, particularly Sam Backo, who was able to give one of the passes there. He chased Gilbert upfield, was able to give the ball out, and a tremendous try to the...
Oh, that was a high tackle. Folkes is going to get called out here. He has to be. Brent Todd taken in a very high tackle, and now Dean Lance is obviously coming in and saying to referee Mick Stone, what about the other one on Ashley Gilbert? And Mick Stone's going to have to do something very quickly about this, because that's 2. Have a look at this. Now Canberra, they've really got their backs up at the moment, and that's Todd who's tackled. Only 18 metres out from the Canterbury line. The Raiders are in front 6-0. There's Backo comes down the centre. He's still going. Look at Big Sam go. And he's almost got all the way. The big ex-North Queenslander's got it within a metre of the line. Walters, Steve Walters it is, in a dummy half. They take their time to get off him. They've got the ball now. Henjack, away it comes to O'Sullivan. He's got it away to Walters. Now Kinner, he's got to run to the wing. He's come back on the inside, though. They quickly regroup that time, the Canterbury defence. 12 metres out. Now that's Kevin Walters from dummy half. He's still going. Little Kevin Walters. He's almost in. He's almost over the line. Half a metre out. Brother Steve at dummy half as O'Sullivan chips it into the end goal area. Farrer is taken and Farrer's hammered into the deck. They were quickly up there that time, the Raiders. Play will restart with the line drop out. Still Canberra leading 6-0. Have a look at this again.
Well, it's tremendous pressure play by Canberra. They chip ahead, but well covered up by Andrew Farrer, who was in position for the kick, but pressure on with the line drop out.
Great defence from Dean Lance. Read that to perfection. Having a great game.
Les Morrissey's out there for Ashley Gilbert while he's in the head bin.
So here's Gary Belcher running it back. A great runner of the football. 35 metres out from this Canterbury line. Lance. Now that's Todd. Now interesting to note also, Mark, as we said, this hard Monday night game. Some of the clubs have had to back up on the Saturday after playing on Monday night. Have said it's very hard to find their footing in the first 20 minutes or so.
Well, I think there's been 3 occasions and those sides have all lost, and that's significant in this game because Canberra, we saw the determination on their faces. They ran out and they're playing super football.
Here goes Kevin Walters. Back it goes to Henjack. Henjack for the line. Henjack's in. Try. Canberra in again. It's 10-0. Beautiful football from Canberra.
The crowd's gone mad here, the home crowd. Listen to the support they're giving and what football it is from the Raiders. A couple of Canterbury players are going to be laying in the mud here, watching Henjack disappear.
Well, this is O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan, it is the first tackle, pushing away from Folks. Gets it back inside. And then there was the second tackle. Out it goes to, finally, the halfback, Kevin Walters. Back it goes once more to Henjack, and he's over.
Well, it was Henjack who started it and Henjack who finished it. He's been playing at half-back, and, of course, we've had Kevin Walters out in the centres. Walters backed up, was able to get the ball, then back inside to the half-back who was backing up. Ivan Henjack listed in the program as a centre. He's been playing half-back. His organisation has been the reason why the Raiders are so far in front after only, would you believe, 9 minutes.
Corkery comes in. There's the kick, and it's a shocker. So the score remains at 10 points to 0. Canterbury so far have missed 11 tackles. Warren Ryan, I don't think he will change that expression for much of the first half unless the Bulldogs score.
Well, very unemotional man at the best at times, but he's looking quite desolate at the moment.
You don't really blame him. He's had a very difficult week. The injury problem, and then the rain prevented him on Thursday night from getting with the team. And then finally having to make 3 late changes to his selected side. In fact, he didn't really select the team until they got to training last night.
Plenty of disruption to Canterbury, but with this kick, don't be surprised if they use the blind side effectively here. The blind side of the paddock is probably the least affected by the mud, and it's the chance for them to run that way.
So that's Whitfield running the ball up, the Englishman. 12 metres out from the Canberra Raiders line. Bugden away to Steve Mortimer. It goes across from Langmack. Now that's Gillespie. Gillespie stands and delivers, and it's Langmack, and away it goes again towards Hagan. Hagan's held up. Only about 13 metres out from that Canberra line. 11 metres in from the other touch line as it comes. Steve Mortimer, blind side. Now that's Folks. Folks can't get his pass away. Dunn moves into dummy half. Dunn on his own. Big call, Dunn. Dunn charges the line. He's held up on the 4th tackle a few metres out. Steve Mortimer, the pass, it's gone wild. I think Langmack's got there first. He's towed it through. O'Sullivan's got it. O'Sullivan's missed it. Belcher picks it up. Belcher on his hands and knees crawls back into the field of play.
Well, danger for both sides there, really. If Belcher had been able to pick that up and take it out wide, there was a chance there for the Canberra side.
Have a look at this again. The ball's loose. Now Langmack comes through, takes the odds to it, sockers it through, off the legs of the Canberra player. Now O'Sullivan has it, now he has it, now he's lost it. Belcher's there first, on his hands and knees. Look at that. Steve Mortimer, that long pass comes away to Tony Curry. Beautiful defence by Jackson, right round his bootlaces. Campbell. Now that's Gillespie. Gillespie's got his pass away. It's a loose one. Hagan's managed to pick it up. Back to the quarter line. They're finding trouble with their footing, especially in the centre of the field. Quick switch from Steve Mortimer. Back to Folks. Down the centre goes Steve Folks. And Folks only 12 metres away from the Canberra line. Bugden, blindsided, comes to Dunn. Dunn's got a lovely pass away to Gillespie. Gillespie's lost the ball. I think that Canberra have come up with it in the end, but the referee's going to put the scrum down. Playing the advantage.
Yes, it was a good ball to Gillespie, and Gillespie simply dropped it.
They've got it just inside Canterbury's territory. Steve Walters plays it. Henjack's kick. Now this one's for the grandstand touchline, but Farrer's safely underneath that. And he runs it back across the quarter line. Good run from Andrew Farrer. He's still going. What a good piece of football. And we've seen him twice now with that strength. Get through tackles. He's a very strong runner of the football. Mistake by Canterbury, and Steve Mortimer just manages to dive on it to clean it up after Tunks had gone without it. Now Gillespie from dummy half. Gillespie on his own. Can't get through the tackle of Coyne. Still just inside Canterbury's territory. The Bulldogs with the ball. They've lost it. Steve Walters comes up with the ball for Canberra.
Very good defence once again by the halfback come centre, Kevin Walters.
Dean Lance. Peter Mortimer up very quickly that time. They're trying to really put pressure on O'Sullivan, it seems, as the ball's not played. And the referee's what's going to happen here? It's got to be a penalty to Canterbury. It's against O'Sullivan. Might have a look at this again.
It was interesting. He played the ball, but Chris O'Sullivan seemed to be looking at what he was going to do next with the ball.
And now here's Campbell with the ball. Campbell keeps it going. Steve Mortimer for the corner. Steve Mortimer looking for support. He's got it away. The ball's gone loose. And I think Canberra come up with it, but the referee's going to penalise them. The ruling's correct. Chris Kinner was definitely in front of the previous Canberra player who touched that ball as Steve Mortimer's pass came back on the inside. It came off a Canberra hand. Kinner was in an offside position, but you can't really blame him. He had to take the odds for securing possession, and so Canterbury are going to have a shot at goal. And if there is a man on this field who can kick a heavy football a long distance, it's this man, Colin Whitfield. He kicks the way he did the other night. He'll kick this out into the Leagues Club.
It's almost a tragic mistake, Chris O'Sullivan at dummy half, not seeing the ball come back between his legs. And then, of course, Canterbury ending up with the penalty. All of a sudden, it's been all Canberra up till now, but all of a sudden Canterbury are down there shooting for goal.
I think they've taken a sensible decision, though, to kick for goal. I think they need to settle their play down. Steve Mortimer can have a talk to his players. They've certainly been lagging a little bit in the defensive aspect. Now they've got to just settle down, talk to each other, communicate, and make sure that they get back on the right track.
Colin Whitfield, there's Stevie Mortimer, puffing. He is puffing.
Well, he just made a very good break down the left-hand side. Unfortunately, there was no support, and the Canberra side has been supporting their players, but there, Canterbury had the chance, but there wasn't anybody within cooey of Steve Mortimer.
So here's Colin Whitfield, the chance to put the Bulldogs on the scoreboard as he moves in. There's the kick. He's got it. 2 points to Canterbury Bankstown. Colin Whitfield, 1 from 1. And so 16 minutes remaining in the first half. Canterbury with the ball just inside their own territory. Langmack's pass away now. They've got it back across the halfway line. So there's the errors at the moment. Canterbury just missing too many tackles. But they missed most of those in the first quarter of an hour. The last quarter of an hour or so, Canterbury really have improved quite markedly. And they must admit they have had a succession of penalties to help them, and there's another one.
Well, at one stage it read the penalties 3-0, I believe, and now it's 6-3 in favour of Canterbury. So we've seen 6 successive penalties to the Canterbury side. That's allowed them 1 goal and a possibility of another as Whitfield lines up this one.
Here comes Whitfield, the chance to narrow the margin to just 1 converted try, and he's got it. What a great kick from Whitfield. And so with just 12.5 minutes remaining in the first half, the Raiders have had that 10-0 lead whittled down to be just leading now by 6 points, 10 points to 4. Blindside. Steve Folkes kicking for touch, and he's found it. 11 metres, still inside Canterbury's territory.
A little bit dangerously too, I thought there. Matthew Corkery could have had a go at that, and there was no one down the sideline.
There's the kick. And no one there at all. You see Corkery, the last man. If he got the right bounce, that's got to be a penalty. Well, you know, that was certainly in the second row, the original feed. Let's see where this one goes. It's come out Canberra's way, and they've got the penalty as well. Well, the first one was as blatant as you'll ever see.
Yes, he allowed him that one go, and then he penalised the hooker.
But the first one, I don't think I've ever seen one that blatant.
That one happened right in front of me here on the sideline, and there was no doubt that Steve Mortimer had to get that second one in if he wasn't going to give away a penalty, and he couldn't get it into the tunnel. There wasn't one.
It was the first time Canberra have got a penalty, though, in about quarter of an hour or so. Now, what can they do with it? Steve Walters, Coyne, and Coyne's hammered into the deck. Only about 5 or 6 metres out. Steve Walters moves to dummy half as he gets the ball away. Goes on his own. That's Backo down the centre, and Backo almost forces his way over. And Sam Backo will get up and play it. Only about 1.5 metres out there from those goalposts. taking his time to get up. Steve Walters, away it comes. It's O'Sullivan, away to Belcher. Belcher's away from one. Belcher spies the opening, still going. And Gary Belcher only 5 or 6 metres out from that Canterbury line. Steve Walters against the dummy half. It comes away from Henjack. Quickly it goes to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's in the opening. 9 metres out. Last tackle against the Raiders. Henjack's little grubber kick in behind the defence. Oh, Jackson on it, scored. Jackson's got there first, and that's a super try. Oh, what's that for reflexes? Have a look at this again. Henjack, a beautiful kick. The Canberra Raider fans are going wild. They know now that they're a chance of being at the FCG come September. And this little try, this little kick, and the brilliant reflexes of Jackson. Have a look at this. Henjack's kick in behind the Canterbury defence, and look at Jackson. Brilliance. Read that to perfection. That is a super try and might be the one.
There was almost nothing the defence could do about it. It was a perfectly positioned kick. The understanding there with Jackson as he comes screaming through. Canterbury winger tried to cut it off, but he had no chance. Whitfield couldn't get there. Brilliant football by the two in combination. The little kick, perfectly judged, just the right distance. It only just crossed the try line, and Jackson was there to dive on it.
12 metres in from the grandstand touchline. 2 metres outside the quarter line. An important kick. Of course, if this wind comes up in the second half, the Raiders should be right on top. There it is. It's swinging away, though. He's missed it. But still the margin is 10 points with 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Canberra leading Canterbury Bankstown by 14 points to 4. And the action man scored the try. And Bugden's tackled. 2 metres still inside Canterbury's territory as it comes from Dunn to Steve Mortimer. Away it goes to Gillespie, but Gillespie beautifully tackled. That was Henjack right round the bootlaces. O'Sullivan over the top that time. But Peter Mortimer does pretty well to grab hold of that pass. Last tackle against Canterbury. So it comes away, Steve Mortimer. Mortimer puts the kick in. Belcher right underneath it, straight down his throat. And Belcher running it back across the quarter line, straightens up, looks for a patch of ground where it's probably not even, or not that muddy, so he can see if he can continue on with his run. He can't do so.
There definitely seems to be some confusion in the Canterbury lineup as far as getting a good kick away on the 5th tackle. That was a poor kick, and recently they had the intercept on the 5th tackle.
Well, there we are, the siren in the back play. The whistle goes from referee Mick Stone, and a half of football that the Canterbury fans and Warren Ryan would probably wish to forget, but a half of football that all of these Canberra Raiders supporters would hopefully continue in the second half and take them on their path towards the Sydney Cricket Ground. Okay, Mark Levy in the commentary position with me today. Shortly we'll go down to the sidelines and hear from Warren Boland as we're about to see the second half kick off. And as Warren said at the beginning of the game, it was a bit of a surprise that Canberra ran into the wind in the first half. But now that we look at the flags on top of the scoreboard, it does seem to indicate that the wind has picked up a fraction here in this second half. And there you have a look. The wind has picked up just a fraction, and if it does pick up any more, the decision to run against the wind in the first half will be one that will receive rave notices. 10 metres out from the Canterbury line. Been a fair bit of feeling in this game as Hagan is going to find touch or will he? It's not a good kick. Kinner gets back. Kinner gets the ball. And so Canberra have got it. And that can be the danger of trying that short kick on the first 4 tackles. And if you don't find touch, you put a lot of pressure on yourself because Canberra have got the ball only 30 metres out from the Canterbury line.
Well, we saw in the first half, I thought there was a chance to Matthew Corkery if he really had an attempt at it down the left-hand touchline. And this time back this way, we've found Canterbury not picking up the touchline, and we're back to the 22-metre line.
Coyne just outside that 22-metre line. Steve Walters, Henjack, away it comes now to Jackson. Jackson standing in the tackle, can't deliver the pass though. 4th tackle against the Raiders. Steve Walters again at dummy half. Steve Walters on his own, throws the dummy. Oh, that's good defence with Gillespie, and also involved in that was Steve Folkes. Last tackle. Now O'Sullivan thought about the field goal, now goes on his own. O'Sullivan still going, away to Dean Lance. Lance almost in the clear, he is. It's Kinner for the corner. Kinner can't get the ball down. In fact, he's going to be tackled half a metre out. And it's going to be, the referee is calling for the handover as Chris Kinner almost managed to get that ball over the line. How close can they go to scoring a try?
Very close. Chris O'Sullivan, I'm sure, was looking for the field goal attempt. The Canterbury defence held off him. He ran back. Possibly there was even a hint of a shepherd in it, but he got away from it and went out to Dean Lance, and then Lance broke a tackle. I think of Folks again, was able to get it out to Kinner. Unfortunately, Kinner, who came inside, did everything but get over the line.
Quickly moved across that Canterbury back line. It comes to Peter Mortimer. Again, the defence is too good. Whitfield with the ball. 20 metres out now from his own line. He'll play it to Hagan. Steve Mortimer almost intercepted that pass. Done with the ball. The defence arrived at the same time. He had no chance at all to do anything then. That was good football from Backo. Dummy half. It's going on his own Bugden. I
don't think Sam ever had any inkling of taking the intercept. He was happy to take the player out, and I think safety first for Canberra is the go.
Now Canterbury with the ball, and that's Folks who's put the kick in. The ball, the bounce is not going to favour Canterbury. It's Belcher who gathers it in that very muddy area. He tries to run it away from Curry. He can't do so. Hagan up there in support. 33 metres out from that Canberra line as Kinner goes from dummy half. He's away from Curry. Can he get away from Folks? No, not too many do. Coyne. Now Corkery deciding to go for a gallop.
I like the way Steve Walters has been dictating play from dummy half. He's been having a few dashes himself and just directing the play from there, and it's a fine percentage football.
Just inside Canberra's territory, Steve Walters. Away it comes now to Kevin Walters. O'Sullivan, the quick pass. And now good football from Gilbert. He floats it over the top. Now that's Martin. Now look at this young man go. He's got a lot of speed, Paul Martin. The pass back on the inside. Dunn can't gather it. I'm certain someone called for it, but he should have kept it going to Kinner.
It should have been passed on the outside. Not only was Kinner there, but Chris O'Sullivan and Jackson was there as well.
Well, there's the pass back on the inside. No doubt, though, that someone called for it. I wouldn't mind betting that it was a Canterbury player who called on the inside.
Oh, yes, I think so, and rightfully so, because there was danger on the right-hand side. What with Chris O'Sullivan and Chris Kinner there, and Jackson lurking in the background.
And there was an attempt at intercept by O'Sullivan that didn't come off. The referee says play on, though.
Knock on by O'Sullivan, I would have said.
I would have thought so. Well, they got away with that. Lance. Let's have another look at this. Well, that might have been a very good decision by Mick Stone. Isn't it amazing? That really did look as if... there's a floated pass that almost finished up with Whitfield, and now Corkery's done well. Corkery over the quarter line. Corkery versus Farah. Corkery around Farah, and Corkery's in. What a brilliant individual try. And they've certainly secured a position in the top 5 at this moment, because they've got the ball point, the ball game all parcelled up this afternoon. Canberra are leading Canterbury 18-4. And what a brilliant piece of individual football that was. Have a look at this again. And there's the pass. It's Kevin Walters away. Jackson's floated pass. Just when it looked as if Whitfield might get to the ball first and bring up an intercept. Now Corkery, he's away from one. He sprints away from Peter Mortimer. Across the quarter line. Comes to Farah. Look at that. Beautiful in and out. Thank you very much. That's a good try.
When Jackson threw this pass over the top, I thought back to Wayne Bennett's words at half-time about lack of discipline, because he put a lot of pressure on Corkery, but he shrugged off the tackle, steps back inside, and then turns on the pace. This is his 11th try of the season, and what a flyer. He just goes all the way, but then the magnificent sidestep there at the end to leave Andrew Farrell behind. In the heavy conditions, it's hard for Farrell to make a tackle like that when he's got to take him head on. And celebrations among Canberra, and why not? Because they've got this game parcelled up, even though there's 23 minutes to go. 18 points to 4 with a kick to come.
Gary Belcher taking over the goal-kicking duties. It's straight, but it's not straight enough. And so, as Ashley Gilbert's coming to the sideline, Gary Belcher goes back to fullback. And so 4 tries to Canberra as they lead Canterbury 18 points to 4. And that try scored 27 minutes into the second half. Crowd mostly green and white.
Les Morrissey coming on for Ashley Gilbert. I'm not surprised to see Ashley Gilbert leave the field, because he was looking pretty tight. So Sam Backo out there looking a little tight, though Gilbert has been still turning it on right to the last moment.
Well, there was the kick-off. The referees ruled that Belcher knocked that on.
Canberra have only kicked 1 goal from 5 attempts, and just think of what the score could have been had they made sure that their goal kicking was spot on today.
they've been able to do that. To us another 8 points, would have been 26-4. Canterbury, though, with a chance to get back into the game as Hagan going straight down the centre. Hagan almost pirouetted out of that last tackle. He's only a couple of metres out from that Canberra line. Langmack, it comes to Tunks. Tunks with strength trying to get his arms free and deliver the pass. Can't. The ball comes away. Bugden, Steve Mortimer, cuts out Peter Mortimer. Curry for the corner. It goes to Campbell. Campbell slips over, though, as he tried to come back on the inside of Kinner. Jackson's down injured, charging the line, Peter Mortimer, and Peter Mortimer's held up in tackle number 5. Canterbury charging at the Canberra line at the moment. Steve Mortimer, it comes to Dunn. Dunn trying to force his way over. He's into the end goal, but the referee says held up. And so Dunny still hasn't scored a first-rate try with Canterbury.
Superb work by Paul Dunny, ran onto the ball, but look at the defence come from everywhere. Canberra desperate to keep their line intact, to make sure that the Canterbury side doesn't score this afternoon. That was beautiful defence by 3 players.
Tony Curry clapping on the speed up over the halfway. Curry almost into the clear. Kevin Waller's in cover. The pass comes back to Hagan. Back it goes. No, Hagan decided not to throw it. And the ball's gone loose and has been picked up by Chris Kinner. Now Kinner going for a dash down the left touch line. And he's tackled 34 metres out as Hagan, I thought, was going to give it back to Curry. And then in the end, in the defence, he lost the ball, and there's another great run from Corkery.
Well, there's no doubt that Michael Hagan should have sent it back inside to Curry, because Curry also had a man backing up inside, but Hagan did the wrong thing. He didn't throw the ball, and here's a chance for Canberra.
And here they go, Gary Belcher. Belcher, the pass comes back to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan can't get away from Dunn. The pass has gone loose. Kevin Walters picks it up, and Kevin Walters is taken to the ground. Only about 13 metres out. It's going from dummy half. It comes away to Jackson, to Coyne, and Coyne will score. Coyne's in. Gary Coyne has scored the try. Superb football from Canberra. If you back up the man carrying the football, you must score tries, and that's exactly what Canberra have done this afternoon. Basic fundamental football, but they've executed it to the outstanding achievement where they're leading by 18 points. Look at this. Bang. Even bumped Steve Folks off in the end. Now there's Belcher. The pass comes back towards Chris O'Sullivan. This was the movement. O'Sullivan trying to get away from Dunn. Flicks the ball up. Ball goes loose. Kevin Walters gathers it in. Walters is taken into the ground. Only a few metres out, though, from that Canterbury line. Steve Walters, his brother. The pass comes away. That's Jackson. Back on the inside is Coyne. And look at this. Even bumped off Steve Folks to score the try. And look at that. Jackson and Coyne. 2 former Queenslanders. Another one comes in, Kevin Walters. And Belcher to try and convert the try from right on the touchline, 24 metres out. Not an easy kick as he moves in. He struck that one a lot better. Look at this one for a kick. He's got it. One up, one down. The referee says no. Oh. Well, he might have been a bit unlucky with that one.
Well, what a disappointment for him. That was his 3rd attempted goal, and that's 3 misses, but he struck that one beautifully. Unfortunately, the referee, who is the arbitrator after there's 1 up and 1 down, decided not to give it to him. 22 points to 4.
Tunks takes it up. Tunks the pass offloaded to Langmack, who's hit by Morrissey to Dunn. Away it comes to Mortimer. Peter Mortimer up over the halfway. Back on the inside is Campbell. Somehow he got that. It goes back to Dunn. On it goes to Steve Mortimer. Away it goes to Curry. Curry almost in the clear. He's got a lot of speed. He's got it away to Hagan. Hagan standing, looking, finding it went back from Farah. Now it's with Folks. Folks trying to get the pass away, but great defence from O'Sullivan. Lance was back there as well as they keep it going. That's Tunks, the pass away. Steve Mortimer. Steve Mortimer can't get through that tackle. The ball is quickly played. Last tackle against Canterbury. As quickly it comes away from Farah. It goes to Curry. They should score here. And Curry, he's lost the ball. And they've got it through Corkery and back into the field of play. And the Raiders will play it. Curry couldn't score the try.
Magnificent tackle by Kevin Walters in defence. He's absolutely thrown himself at Tony Curry, who looked certain to score. Curry couldn't get it. The only option was to throw it away, and Canberra come up with possession. Beautiful tackle by Kevin Walters.
And there's the other angle of it. Look at that. The long pass comes away to Tunks. Now that's Folks. Folks in open space. Folks almost to the quarter line. Offloads it. Back it goes to Jason Alchin. Alchin the little pirouette. Back it comes to Dunn. Dunn away to Curry. Curry goes to the quarter line. Curry goes on his own, but good defence that time. That was Morrissey who read that well. Came racing across. McKinnon stayed on his wing and looked after Campbell. Steve Mortimer, I should say, the little chip kick through, too long in the end, across the dead ball line, and Belcher gathers the ball up as Canberra bring it back to the quarter line.
Well, it really was a desperation kick there. Steve Mortimer really didn't have anything to aim for except Gary Belcher, who's always in position. It just went too far, and certainly it was a frustration kick.
So now going from dummy half, Mark Bugden, Andrew Farrett, Steve Mortimer, Jason Alchin. Away it comes now from Curry. He got the ball back from Hagan, and then look at the speed that Curry's got. It's Whitfield with it now, but Corkery sticks to him like glue, puts him on the deck, 14 or 15 metres out. Canterbury still with the ball. Alchin away to Steve Mortimer. Back it goes to Farrett, who knocks it on. It wasn't a good pass from Mortimer. He comes back. That's Alchin. And Steve Mortimer, the quick pass back the other way. Almost had it, but with a greasy ball, a very difficult assignment to grab hold of it.
Yes, the ball was just passed too far in front of Andrew Farrell there. He couldn't hold on, and Steve Mortimer has been responsible for a few mistakes this afternoon. Not a happy game for Steve.
So now Belcher, as the siren goes in the background, he won't even have to get up and play it, Gary Belcher. One of the most memorable wins ever by the Canberra Raiders, as they have defeated the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs by 22 points to 4. An outstanding display. They are definitely in the 5, irrespective of what else happens this weekend. They are certainly in the top 5, and if Eastern Suburbs should beat South Sydney tomorrow, Canberra will leapfrog South and move into outright 4th position. The battle for the final 5 continues, but the Raiders fans can breathe just that fraction easier today, and what a great game some of them played. They were all heroes today, though. Let's have a look at the details, and I think that says it all. Canterbury kept tryless. For Canberra, though, Kinner, Henja, Jackson, Corkery and Coyne, 5 tries in all, and in the end, Corkery was only successful with his first attempted goal, and 1 goal from 7 between the 2 Canberra kickers, Gary Belcher and Matthew Corkery. So it could quite easily have been 34-4 because the goals they missed weren't that difficult. In fact, the most difficult one of the day was kicked by Corkery. The second most difficult one of the day saw 1 flag up, 1 flag down and disallowed by the referee. So it could have been a lot more embarrassing as far as Canterbury are concerned. They've got a lot of hard work to do before next weekend. Canberra travel to Redfern Oval, and they'll be very hard to beat with the confidence that they will glean out of that win.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. Because winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot, making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
On to the Sunday match of the day, and Eastern Suburbs at home at Henson Park against South Sydney. Eastern Suburbs well and truly entrenched in the top half of the semi-final position, that is the top 3. South Sydney a win to really get back into the 5 and a chance, if at all, of climbing into the top half, the 3 for the semi-final time. Eastern Suburbs, as they took the field, were just favourites, and an important fact here at Henson Park right throughout 1987 is that the Roosters haven't lost a game at home all season long.
The State Bank Big Game presents the Winfield Cup.
welcome to Henson Park for today's Winfield Cup clash between Eastern Suburbs and South Sydney. And Henson Park must have been a good omen for the Roosters. Having adopted it as their home ground this season, they've played 6 games on the old Newtown turf and won all 6. And they've come into this match after a mighty effort against Canterbury last Monday night, which saw them get home by a margin of 2 points. The final scoreline, East 22, Canterbury 20. For the South Sydney Rabbitohs, they proved they were too strong against Cronulla last Sunday with a winning scoreline of 16-10. After wins over Manly and Canterbury, Arthur Beetson has his boys in line for number 3 against South Sydney, and their full team today is Worth, Morris, Smith, Melrose, Lydon, Hall, Spiner, Truella, Gilmeister, McGann, Peter Johnston in 26, Simpkins and Shepherd. George Piggins knows a win today is vital for a chance of finishing in the top 3, and his team rundown is Cruikshank, Harrington, Marvin, Blake, Moon, Ellison, Coleman, Andrews, Boyle, number 11, Davidson, number 10, Lindsay Johnson, number 21, Fennick, Ian Roberts. Back on the 10th of May in round 11 at Redfern Oval, when South and East met, it was the magic of Phil Blake that saw the South Sydney win by 14 points to 4. Blake scored 2 tries and kicked 2 field goals for a personal tally of 10 points. For our State Bank big game today, the referee is Greg McCullum. Well, South Sydney about to kick off in this all-important game. Eastern Suburbs are going to be receiving the ball. And the kick-off goes deep. McGann takes it as usual and brings it out to the quarter. Just a little bit of settling down play, watching Simpkins run from dummy half on a couple of occasions. There's a bad fumble there, but there's been a penalty awarded against the South Sydney markers, I think, for spreading. One going either side of the ruck. So that's a bit of relief after the ball was knocked on at dummy half there.
That's something Greg McCullum was very harsh on last Monday night, that penalty that cost a draw situation for Canterbury against Eastern Suburbs. I'm looking for a pretty fiery opening today from the South Sydney forwards especially. They haven't been in the best of form. All-important clash. And the likes of Les Davidson and David Bohr back today. I'm looking for a few fireworks in the opening minutes.
Danny Shepherd came straight through the ruck. Spinner's at dummy half now onto Truella, the pocket battleship I call him. Enormously quick into stride. Switch of play across the ruck. Using Slippery Morris as there as the wing 3/4 as one of the runners. Spina, McGann up over the halfway line, centre field. Simpkins, pass goes to ground, picked up there nicely by Hall. Truella out to Melrose, kick downfield by Joe Lydon. I think it's going to find touch. It does. It's a good touch finder. It brings play to a point about 5 metres inside South Sydney's quarter. And the sideline, David Fordham, you've got any breeze to report down there?
Yes, Rex, there is a noticeable breeze at the back of Eastern Suburbs in this first half, coming from the northeast. I'd say it's probably about a 4 or 5 point breeze. But the interesting thing is the state of the ground. We've had a lot of rain in Sydney this week, but it's absorbed the wet weather very, very well indeed, which has augured well for a great clash, as Graeme mentioned, a strong clash of the forwards early, but a chance on this great Henson Park surface to see these 2 speedy backlines in full flight in this match.
Yes, the ground is in first-class order. We have no reason for excusing any of the players for losing their footing on this. Well, the penalty's gone to South Sydney. Ellison takes it. Finds it midway between the quarter and the halfway. South Sydney have got to pick themselves up a bit. They've been a little bit down on form the last couple of matches. Ian Roberts getting upended there, put down by Simpkins. I think the referee was looking away at the end of that. Mario Fennick underneath a heavy tackle there from Johnston. Les Davidson lost the ball on that tackle. That's something that's become a part of his game now, watching him lose possession a couple of times. He's got to lift that part. There's a long cut-out pass to Hall. McGann showing the ball outside, then turning inside. Worth About 3 metres from the halfway line. Johnson goes up the blind side, stands in the tackle, gets it back on the inside. Smith. Not a Shepherd, gets Beltman in the tackle there, his body convoluted. Or convulsed, I should say. Last tackle. Paul Spina gets the kick downfield. I doubt it's gone directly where he wanted it to. The Eastern Suburbs player that's there is way offside. Smith really is, well, I'd be surprised if he wasn't 15 or 20 yards offside there.
Well and truly offside. You'll catch him in the top left-handed frame, David Smith. 5 or 10 metres in front of the man that kicked the ball, taking the referee on here just in case McCallum had been unsighted. But he was perfectly back on the infield there and a good decision.
Eastern Suburbs up very quickly there. Boyle. No score in the match. We've had about 8 minutes of play. Johnson slips. And Johnson tackles. Davidson came close there. Andrews on the blind side to Mario Fennick. Well, they handle that very well. Coleman gets a high towering bomb. It should be okay for Worth. Takes it beautifully. 10 metres out from his line. Well tackled. Hall. Morris. Chuella, always good for a few metres. And there's a penalty going to be awarded against Lindsay Johnson. Lydon's gone for an enormously long kick, which has found touch, a very high, towering type of a kick. And Eastern Suburbs back in possession from the tap restart. McGann goes right through the middle. I thought he had options on either side then. He dived with the ball. Worth, Hall, spins in a tackle, about 15 metres out. Chuella. Well, can he get his arms through? Melrose. Spina. Turn it back inside to Worth, and Worth under the post for a try. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Came flying on the burst. It was reminiscent of a try we scored earlier in the season here.
On the State Bank replay, great play from East. They built up to this. They haven't been making mistakes in this first half to date. Laurie Spina being able to stand, and the man that read the play so beautifully coming from the back, Gary Worth. He knows how to pick out a gap. The men that he likes to run off right throughout the season of 87 has been Laurie Spina, this man here, and also Hugh McGann. He tends to follow and trail them everywhere. And what better way to pick up a pass back up on the inside than a try right under the black dot. He really does read it. You watch him coming from the back play, just trailing there in the headgear. He sights the opening, calls for the ball, and a great pass back inside from Spina that sends him on his way.
David Smith to take the kick. With ease, Eastern Suburbs 6, South Sydney 0. Well, Morris takes the kick off and takes it very well. Gets out to the quarter. Chuella. There's Johnson coming away, very nearly lost it. Morris again at dummy half on a Chuella. He gets pushed backwards. They're still pushing him back. There's Davidson and Johnson with the two. McGann. Melrose has his kick charge down, can't find it. It was South Sydney ball. Very quick reflexes there from Les Boyle to fall on that. It's going to be a thundering kick. Already Tony Melrose has had 2 kicks charged down. They're up very quickly on him. Maven gets to his feet and plays it. Roberts goes close to the ruck, belted hard, back slam. Little move on there with Ellison giving dummies to decoy runners. They didn't get the ball, he did. Coleman puts that down. Oh, yes! It's a try, and it's a try to Roberts. It's an incredible try. He flew above Worth there on that occasion. Unbelievable. We'll have to see whether he was onside, but have a look at this.
Great kick from Craig Coleman, but a magnificent take. We saw Ian Roberts do this at the semi-finals with SCG last year. One of the tallest men on the field, if not the tallest. He doesn't have to leave the ground by far to get up above the likes of Gary Worth. Worth was running backwards. He was just unsighted and put off maybe by the goalpost at first, but brilliantly read by Roberts, coming from certainly well and truly onside. One of the 3 occasions that you see this incident where a bomb situation brings about a try in 1987. But here comes the big man now, and he doesn't have to leave that ground by too far. But what a beautiful take to put it down. And again, the try's being scored right underneath the black dot.
Ellison to take the kick directly in front, 11 metres out. No trouble. After 14.5 minutes, 6-all. Simpkins. Johnson unloading one-handed, but not great passes. Smith changing his mind, going back the open side. Loses the ball in the tackle. Johnson dives on it. Roberts. Coleman. That pass was forward to Jason Moon, and the referee has seen it. Quite clear. Coleman obviously looking for ways around this Eastern Suburbs defence. Laurie Spina. Hall. Oh, he did very well to hold that, really. He juggled it, was hit in the process of juggling it. Chuella. Back on the inside to McGann. McGann there, away to Melrose. Melrose running beautifully. Pass out there to Lyden. Lyden's in for a try. It's a sweet try. It's a try that Eastern Suburbs supporters will swoon over. It's got all the backs in it, and it looks the goods. See it again.
This is where all the problems were coming for South Sydney last week. On the fringe of the ruck, this is where the tackles were being missed badly against Cronulla last weekend. Truella was able to unload, stand there. Huey McGann trailed him through superbly. And Tony Melrose had too much pace just out here. Mario Fennick did well to try and get across to hold him. But the free run to the line here for Joe Lyden. And South Sydney paying the penalty now in the rucks, but not moving up in that straight defensive line. They're saying to hang back, run across field, just watch the ball carrier, just watch and wait and see what he's going to do with the ball, and all that does is allow plenty of space and room to move for the likes of the ball players like Huey McGann. Tony Melrose backing up superbly there, and Joe Lyden, well, if you're going to give him a free run to the line, probably the quickest man on the football field. That's all he had to do was just finish the movement off, and Eastern Suburbs opening this first half up in really confident fashion.
Eastern Suburbs 10. South Sydney 6. The kick about 2 metres in from the sideline, a metre out from the quarter line. Oh, well, it made one of the touch judges run across. It's obviously been just a fraction to the left. So Eastern Suburbs 10, South Sydney 6. Morris. Well, that pass was not directed at anyone. Out to Melrose. Smith switching the play. It's good stuff from Eastern Suburbs. Gilmeister. Looks like a change of possession there. South Sydney have come up with it. Andrews. Finnick. Coleman. Quick hands to Davidson. Trying to get that last pass away. Roberts was on the inside. Ellison. Eastern Suburbs defence has been good. Mario Pennick. About 10.5 minutes to go. Coleman. Ellison. And the pass went to Morris. And he's shown his skill and that electrifying pace, bringing it back about 15 metres. McGann. Melrose. Worth. About 7 metres short of the halfway line. Johnston runs a long way to get involved in that ruck. McGann. Spina. Kick ahead. Be taken by Cruikshank. Easily. Wrong puts the defence coming. Blake did everything right, except he just wasn't quite fast enough in the last shuffle when he got himself into the clear. Boyle. Maven. Put down by Chuella. Boyle. Johnson proving himself a strong man. There's another kick charge down. That's the third from memory. Some awful passing from dummy half. Hall out to Worth. Worth sights an opening, goes straight through it. He's on the fly. He's got Joe Lyden on the outside of him. Gives it to Lyden. Lyden will go in and score. And Worth saying to him, round between the posts, round between the posts. And the Pommy supplies the expertise to go round there. Good one. Beautiful try to Eastern Suburbs. Worth made it. Worth did everything but scoring. See it again.
That was all too easy for Eastern Suburbs on the State Bank replay. Some sloppy passing in the back line that should have enabled the defence plenty of time to move up and chop that off out wide. But Souths are standing back, as I said, and just watching Eastern Suburbs and waiting to see what they do with the football. And if you stand back, they've got the quickest back line in the business. They're going to cause you all sorts of problems when you leave room, and plenty of room, that is, at all, to move for the likes of Worth, Lyden and Stevie Morris. You watch those passes, the defence running straight across field instead of straight up and in on their defensive man and leaving the gaps out wide. Andrews was caught in no man's land there, and plenty of pace, as I said, in the likes of Worth and Joe Lyden. An uninterrupted run to the line again for the English winger, and hasn't he got some toe, especially when he doesn't have to beat anybody to get to the line, and again the ball being pushed underneath those uprights.
Yes, well worth seeing. Good stuff. They've gone to 14-6. The kick is from directly in front. Smith shouldn't have any trouble. He doesn't, just cozies it over. So, Eastern Suburbs now race away to a 16-6 lead over South. Well, one change I'm expecting to see at some stage is Phil Blake on for South Sydney. He has scored 2 tries in reserve grade the last 2 weeks.
Well, it's essential now with the situation. They're just cutting them open out wide. He's the man that has to come on, not just for the instance to keep up and keep pace with the likes of Worth and Morris, but they need him out there to break the line and maybe lay on a try and get them back into the game.
He at least is competitive for pace with some of these flyers in the Eastern Suburbs line. Well, that pass appears to have been forward according to the referee. He's in a better position to see it than we were on that occasion. We'll have to go with that decision, and it's a South Sydney put in from a scrum 5 metres short of the halfway line. Ellison. Now Coleman. Out to Andrews. Maven trying to bust his way through. Is not using any subtlety at all. I guess it's just all a bit too much for him at this stage of his career. Coleman having a bit of difficulty getting free there. Out to Davidson. 100% effort he puts in with his run. Johnson. Much more pedestrian for pace, but very wholehearted. Roberts. Beautiful pass he delivered there to Andrews. Around the body. Ellison. Another good pass to Maven. Maven's upended about 15 metres out, and it's a handover.
Much better attack from South Sydney. Again, Ian Roberts causing the problems. This time giving away another silly penalty and letting the pressure off for East, but Ian Roberts getting wide and being able to unload and keep that ball alive. That's where he continues to give the problems to Eastern Suburbs when they get wide. Otherwise, they're just running straight to the strength of Eastern Suburbs up the middle of the ruck.
Well, I don't really know what Maven's going on about there. I mean, it is self-explanatory, and everything is very simple to do with handing over the ball. It's got to be placed on the ground. But it's astonishing that a first-grade footballer would allow himself to get penalised for that. Johnson, who's caught my eye with some solid play in this match, in the opening 33 minutes. Simpkins trying to slip in there between the dummy half with a run. Simpkins. No. Well, there was a hectic pass thrown there by Spina. Andrews. Out to Blake. He's ridden into the ground by a Melrose tackle. Mario one-handed to Coleman. Nicely back on the inside to Andrews. Good stuff. They're varying their play. Davidson. Beautiful pass to Cruikshank. And I think the last pass went to ground. Mario Fennick tries to get a pass away, gets it away to Blake. Last tackle. Ellison. He's tried for the bomb. Well, it's all but happening here at Henson Park. There's a try there being awarded to Blake, I believe it is. And you don't see many coming from bombs.
Well, you certainly haven't seen it in 1987, but South Sydney, Eastern Suburbs by far the better side in this first half, but the old bomb, the use of the bomb, keeping South well and truly in the match. The ball just touched by Worth, and Blake diving across for the ball there. Being left alone in the end goal area, but plenty of pressure. Ellison knew it was their last resort, only a couple of minutes left on the clock, and Worth was surrounded by players, his own and South Sydney players here going up for the ball. And Cruikshank is getting his hand down on the ball in that end goal area, but they've resorted to the bomb. They became well known for it, South Sydney, and their attack really hasn't been that sharp in this first half, and they have gone back to the bomb, but those kicks have been with pinpoint accuracy, and 2 tries from 2 bombs.
It's there. It's a good-looking kick by Ellison. So with about a minute or so to go to half-time, 16 points to 12, Eastern Suburbs lead South Sydney. Kick-off by Cruikshank to Harrington, who usually, as usual, gets a few metres for them. Boyle on the quarter. There's the hooter in the background. He's still standing in the tackle, so that's the end of the section, with Johnson being tackled in possession. So at the half-time break, it's Eastern Suburbs 16, South Sydney 12. Eastern Suburbs tries have come from Lydon, 2, Worth 1, goals 2 from Porter Smith. South Sydney's 12 points came from Ian Roberts and Cruikshank, both of them coming from bombs. And the goals, Ellison 2 from 2, 16 points to 12. To get underway for what will be a critical 40 minutes of football. Eastern Suburbs to kick off, South Sydney to receive the ball. And David, you've got news from the dressing room.
Yes, Rex, Wayne Chisholm on in number 9. He'll replace Lindsay Johnson. That will mean that David Boyle will in fact move up into the front row and Chisholm into the second row. 2 bits of concern in the Eastern Suburbs camp. Obviously, for the 3rd time in 3 weeks, they've allowed a side to come back at them. And also a bit of concern over Hugh McGarn, the man you just saw in picture. He suffered a knock earlier again. He was carrying that right arm that's been troubling right throughout the 87 season. But Captain Courageous, he's led this Eastern Suburbs side from the front right through this season. He's still out there doing the battle for the Roosters.
Okay, well, the kick downfield has gone to Worth. He's fielded it just near his own quarter. Not terribly much option for him to do except put his head down and take the tackle. Plenty of chases there. Chisholm there, the number 9. He was selected originally in the side, but George Pickens deduced that Lindsay Johnson would be a better proposition for the team. But Wayne Chisholm's been brought back in now as a sort of a fresh replacement. Smith at dummy half. Little kick ahead by Spina. The race is on. Cruikshank makes the catch and evades the first line of defence. Comes back to halfway. Good work. Moon from the left wing, appearing on the right-hand side of the field. Coleman. Fennick driven backwards, just beyond the halfway line. Coleman. Davidson. Chisholm again bearing the brunt of the defence. Boyle. Chuella got him in a sort of a throw on that occasion. Infringement in the 5 yards against Eastern Suburbs. There's well, one of the players that was warming up there was Wayne Chalice, who may come on for Lydon. I believe there's a bit of a problem about him. Ellison, midway between the quarter and the halfway, apparently sliced it, has kicked it dead. The score remains Eastern Suburbs 16, South Sydney 12. Smith gets a towering drop kick away, but it's gone very, very high, taken by Coleman. Cruikshank loses the ball. It'll be picked up by Harrington, and he manages to truck back to the quarter line. Davison picked off before he get into his stride there. Shepherd was the man, and he's very slowly to his feet. Coleman electing to kick from dummy half. This looks like it'll be a good one. Yes, indeed. Another kick that's brought play back to within 11 metres of the Eastern Suburbs line.
Excellent tactics from South, and that bench continue to warm up for Eastern Suburbs with Charles and also Craig Salvatore warming up down there, so they might have their injury problems both in the forwards and out wide, the Roosters.
Scrum to be fed by Spina. Not to the referee's satisfaction. Well, it's feet across against the South Sydney front row. Farney to let the ball get cleanly into the scrummage. That's about 9 metres beyond the quarter line. Well, evidently the replacement has taken place there.
Yes, Wayne Chalice is the man coming on for Joe Leighton. He injured that right knee again. It's been an injury that has worried Joe Leighton right throughout this season. Such a valuable player in the Eastern Suburbs semi-final race. But also Craig Salvatore, as Graeme mentioned, is warming up. Danny Shepherd apparently struggling with a neck and shoulder injury, and that replacement probably will happen in the next couple of minutes.
Okay, well, Leighton's off and walking off. Okay, he's not being carried off, but if he can score a couple of tries, the hell with a crook leg. He did marvellously well in the first half. Anyway, back to the action. Good handling there by Cruikshank. Took a pass from Coleman behind him, one-handed. Harrington driving forward, just beyond the halfway. Still anybody's game. Ellison, Roberts, got the pass away to Blake. Blake's on the boil, gets it out to Maven, and Maven's in. It's a good try, excellent try, and the scores are locked up at 16-all.
And again on the State Bank replay, Ian Roberts remaining the key man for South Sydney. For the life of me, I can't understand. I keep on saying it, why they don't use Les Davidson out there. He's just too much trouble with his height and size, standing and unloading. A beautiful ball it was to Michael Blake. He had the option back on the inside. He decided to go out for the pace of Steve Maven, and a great comeback by South Sydney. But he caused them plenty of trouble. Here he is bursting and charging onto this ball, taking the tackle. He's too big for them. Plenty of arms being left free to unload there to Michael Blake. He positioned his man well, although the pass was somewhat behind Maven. He dragged it in, and doesn't he love diving in for those tries, making sure that he didn't lose the ball over the line on this occasion.
Ellison. Straight as a gun barrel. Over she goes. South Sydney have hit the lead. South Sydney 18, Eastern Suburbs 16. Coleman, Mario Finnick, out to Andrews. Is searching for extra runners. Back on the inside, beautifully. South Sydney going very well. Chisholm's there, got support on the outside, puts a pass away, and the referee has ruled it forward. Well, there was an element of risk about that, but see it again.
Well, there's no doubt there that back on the inside, Michael Blake had just overrun the man running with the ball. He should have stayed behind him. He put the pressure on Wayne Chisholm as he made the break, that he should have been just holding back. Chisholm knew he was on the inside. Michael Blake's the quicker man playing out in the backs, but he just overran the man. The pass still had to come, but it was forward, and a good decision from the referee. He was correct.
Well, as that chase was on, Boyle was impeded by an Eastern Suburbs play, which caused a bit of an altercation, which the touch judge came in to report. And quite rightly, the penalty has gone to the South Sydney side, and this could be a very vital 2 points indeed.
Indeed it could. Boyle was the South Sydney player involved in the altercation. He was held back. I think he was trying to get through to back up. That's the man. They're coming up to the 19th minute of this second half. South Sydney lead 18-16. South Sydney now lead 20-16, and Eastern Suburbs are in some sort of trouble. Kick off by Smith. It's a hefty sort of a boot to Cruikshank, to Harrington, and he gets out about 15 metres from his line. A good run from the big fella. Mario Finnick takes over the running. Roberts hit round the knees. Duran fell like a tree. Oh, Ellison, he just got that kick in. Morris. He's ridden into the ground over there. Moon was one defender. I think Boyle's going to be pulled out here and cautioned. And rightly so.
Well, this is the situation that Eastern Suburbs have pulled off a number of tries right throughout 1987. Their favourite move is a switch. The ball goes towards the open for one or two plays in the play the ball around the rucks, and then they look for a reverse play, either to pick up Huey McGann or Gary Worth down the line. The man, the key role in that move is always Laurie Spooner, who has to bring the ball back.
Johnson runs. They're only about 18 metres out now from the South Sydney line. Morris, McGann, the switch back to Spooner. Hall takes up the running, gets within. Well, he's still going. He's tackled 11 metres out. Chuella, not a pass off the ground. Was in the act of falling, got the pass away. There's been interference in the play the ball. A penalty will go against South Sydney.
Well, there it was. That was the hand from Ian Roberts. So, chance for East. They were trying to set themselves for that switch of play. They're saying to get back towards the game that served them so well in the first half. They were the best team in the first half, although the scoreboard didn't show it at half-time. But they've got away from that. East have controlled the ball well in the second half and had the greater share of possession. But East have got to continually attack South Sydney on the fringe of the ruck. 2 passes wide where they were coming up with all the breaks in that first 40 minutes.
Smith to take the kick from 10 metres out and about 10 metres off centre. Minutes to go. The kick is successful. So in this very, very close game, Eastern Suburbs trail by 2 points. South Sydney 20, East 18. Coleman out to Ellison. He's belted to the ground, literally belted, as he turned to give that ball back on the inside. Out to Fennick. East are a bit thin out this side. Davidson charges. Talk about the charge of the Light Brigade. Coleman back to the blind side. Boyle on a Blake. Oh, he's weaving and going well. Last tackle. They've gone to the blind side. Coleman tries the little grubber kick through, and it is no try. Forced in goal.
Good kick from Coleman again. The ball ricocheting and being tidied up by Steve Morris, but they're putting their play together well, and unlike the first half, they're not coming up with the early mistakes, handling mistakes that they had, and creating plenty of pressure on East by being able to control that possession.
Will the line drop out to restart the play? Well, it's not such a long kick. Chisholm caught by one leg from Spina. Mario Fennick, Coleman, Roberts. Pass went to ground. Marvin's got it. He's going to charge for the line. He's got it. It's a try. Marvin, one-handed, got the ball over the line. No doubt about that. The Eastern Suburbs defence have held off. Heaven knows there were enough alterations in that pattern of play there. See it again.
Great support play on the State Bank replay from South Sydney. They were always there to take and carry this football on. Good passing again, Roberts being the man that's linking out wide and being able to unload. And Steve Maven brushing off one tackle there from David Smith. And one of the reasons why they probably scored, Huey McGann, one man involved there in making the tackle. He was down for some time after Maven put the ball down. He's not 100% fit at this stage, but they held up to Ian Roberts. There he is, the man playing a great game for South Sydney today. Quick hands from Allison. He kept the ball alive, and the bounce certainly favoured South Sydney, standing up there and looking straight up at Maven. He picked the ball up. Gary Worth standing on the line, and Huey McGann trying to help in the tackle. But as I said, he hasn't been 100% since he took the knock. But South's getting away with a lot now. They're being able to run out of that dummy half position very, very easily. East standing back and waiting for South to come to them, just the way the Rabbitohs did in the first half. But plenty of room there on the sideline for Maven to move in, and just too much power there, and a great second try for Steve Maven.
Yes, indeed. There's every reason to suppose that Eastern Suburbs should have stopped that. The ball was dropped on one occasion. The player had to go back for it. The cover defence should have swarmed. Ellison's kicked the goal. South Sydney fans are going berserk here as the score hastens on now. And it is South Sydney 26, Eastern Suburbs 18. Oh, how the game has changed. See it again. It's a beauty. Out to the left and swerving back. Great slice on the ball and a marvellous kick. McGann, long cutout pass to Worth, to Melrose. He's hitting a jolting tackle. Hall came in for beautiful support play there to Smith. McGann again out to Salvatore, who's decked by a great tackle. the last tackle coming up right now. McGann, little grubber kick through. Been followed on by Harrington. Now, Cruikshank right through the middle. He slips and falls as he pushed off the player. He pushed himself so hard in the fin that he slipped and fell. Coleman. Harrington. Fennick. Coleman towards the line. Only about 13 metres out. It's all South Sydney at the moment. They've got an army of players out here on the left. Davidson goes within 10 metres of scoring. Ellison. Last tackle coming up. Mario Fennick. Oh, Ellison's in from dummy half. He's done that once before this year, but see it again and see whether everything was done correctly.
Well, great play by South Sydney. In the second 40 minutes here we see on the State Bank replay Ellison charging towards that line. They played really faultlessly in this second 40 minutes. Few mistakes. They really have contained possession. No marker. Eastern Suburbs just virtually going to sleep, and they've gone to sleep well and truly in this second half. They should have had a bigger lead at half-time, but Souths have turned around with a breeze at their back. But, well, Brendan Hall was the man running away from that tackle position there with Ellison with his back to the ball, not noticing what went on, and Ellison certainly took advantage.
Ellison kicks at goal and scores. Eastern Suburbs are down the tube 32-18. Coleman at dummy half. Roberts onto Fennick. And Coleman are back there directly out from the goal. Is marshalling his forces. Tries to drop it goal. It's kicked. It's knocked on. And a scrum will take its be put down on that situation. So Coleman gets the opportunity to redo it all over again with possession. Out to Andrews. Cruikshank chiming in, giving it to Andrews. Andrews is only 11 metres away from the line now. I don't know that all their scoring feats are over for the day. Mario Fennick tackled 10 metres out, trying to get his arms free. Coleman. Davidson coming hard on the blind side, was picked off by Gilmeister. Ellison swung to the ground there by French. Chisholm. Last tackle. About 3 minutes to go in this match, which has, in the last 10 minutes, become very one-sided. Ellison tries a bomb over his shoulder. Taken well, and that's the defusing of that. They'll come back to the quarter line. 32 points to 18. Chalice did well.
The third bomb that went up on the day, and the only one that hasn't really produced a try for South Sydney. Successful on 2 occasions. Their kicking game has been certainly made to order in the second half, and a great role played by Craig Coleman in the last 40 minutes.
French coming away with a tough run. Roberts was the defender. Melrose screams his way upfield, has got through one tackle, looks to support. He's 10 metres into the Eastern Suburbs half. The ball's been kicked through. It's Chalice's turn to dive on it, and the referee waves for another 6. Morris. There's a bit of an altercation now between Cruikshank and Chalice. They're having a wrestling match on the sideline. But common sense has prevailed. A little bit of bad-tempered stuff going on from Eastern Suburbs now. They've been well beaten in the last 20 minutes of this match. Spina. Chuella. Simpkins. Morris. On the blind side, onto Morris. Hall. Salvatore. Johnson throwing the ball loosely. Johnson came in with it. Now we're going to have a touch judge on. And I believe the Chalice affair will be on again.
Well, in actual fact, Ian Roberts is the man called over. This could possibly have been on a tackle on Tony Melrose. He was wrestling with Melrose for some time. Also, Cruikshank coming in for a warning after his effort with Wayne Chalice, and David Trewhello in there for a caution. So half a dozen, and a time for both sides to sit back and relax and get some breath. This was the incident with Tony Melrose. Well, I think the less said about that one, the better. It was there to see.
Yes, that's something the Rugby League could well look at through the week. A penalty's gone to Eastern Suburbs. There appeared to be a hand over an Eastern Suburbs player's face. This is their last chance to score, and at least make the score look a little bit respectable. Sipkins, Gilmeister, who's had a quiet day today, not been in anywhere near the form. There is the final hooter, and the South Sydney section of the fans comes roaring onto the field to give the accolade to their team. Now then, the scoreline went this way. South Sydney 32, their tries came from Roberts in this order, Cruikshank, Marvin 2 and Ellison 1. Worth was 1 try, Lydon was 2. The goals, Ellison kicked 6 goals and 3 for Smith. So the score, 32 points to South Sydney, 18 to Eastern Suburbs.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. Because winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot. Making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Well, great wins on the weekend for both South Sydney and Canberra. Let's take a look now at all the action at the other games played last Sunday.
And at sunny Wollongong, the Sea Eagles had a big chance to wrap up the minor premiership. But obviously no one told the boys from the Steel City, who turned in a first-half performance which belied their lowly place on the premiership table. In fact, Illawarra looked like the premiership frontrunners with a brilliant first-up try to fullback Steve Larder. And they didn't let up the pressure on Manly in the second half. After leading 12-4 at the break, this try by Graham Bradley saw them kick away to a 17-4 lead. But the Sea Eagles, with their feathers ruffled by the Illawarra onslaught, then emerged to show their true colours. Noel Cleal handled twice before crossing for the first of his 2 tries. Young halfback Paul Shaw also scored a double. This one, though, had the trademark of that Michael O'Connor touch of class. In fact, the power of the Manly machine hit overdrive as they chalked up 18 points in the final 8 minutes of the match to run out winners by 28-17, and in doing so clinched the minor premiership. At the Sydney Cricket Ground, the Dragons and Western Suburbs went round, with the outcome purely academic for this year's premiership. In fact, the first 40 minutes failed to produce a try, although St George did have its chances. Only 4 penalties by Bronco de Jura interrupted the fans' day in the sun, as St George led 8-0 at half-time. But the sheer pace of replacement winger Ricky Walford brought some spice to the game early in the second half with the first try of the match. The Dragons put West out of their misery with a clever build-up, figuring Jeff Selby and Brian Johnston did the lead-up work for Ricky Walford's second touchdown. The Magpies remain trailers in a 21-2 loss to stay at the bottom of the table. And at North Sydney Oval, Bears fans played host to the Eels. To the action, and Clayton Friend and Freddie Teasdale combined brilliantly to send Greg Florimo dashing between the posts for a top 4-pointer. The Eels lost skipper Peter Sterling with a badly cooked thigh, which proved to be the turning point. But while he was on, the Eels capitalised on a comedy of errors as Brett Kenny arrived in time to fall on a bouncing ball. Parramatta for so long have prided themselves on their defence. 87 has seen some soft tries. Today was no different. On the subject of defence, though, how lucky was Freddie Teasdale, who stayed on the field after this tackle. Only a penalty ensued. The Eels' tale of woe continued as the Bears got away to a match-winning lead of 27 points to 10. A pleasing result for skipper Mark Graham, who has seen plenty of games slip away from the Bears in this 1987 season.
I think this year we've learned how to play with character. We haven't won all our games, but by the same token, if we'd had a bit of luck, and I think it was eight games we've lost by 4 points or less, and with a bit of luck and our good players on the field, you know, there would have been no doubt we would have won them.
Monday Night Football makes its first appearance at Leichhardt Oval in 1987 for the clash between Balmain and Penrith. The Tigers, they have to win to entrench themselves in the top 3 in the competition, and they take the field very strong favourites simply because Penrith are without their star halfback, the international Greg Alexander.
We welcome you to Leichhardt Oval for the first time this season in our Monday Night Football series. In tonight's clash, we see home team Balmain up against the Penrith Panthers. Now, for all the information on tonight's teams, let's first look at Balmain.
From fullback, Gary Jack, Peter Davies, Ross Conlon, Gavin Hanrahan, John Davidson, the halves of Gary Schofield and Scott Gale, the forwards led by Wayne Pearce in the lock position, David Brooks, Paul Sirinen, Big Steve Roach back in the first grade lineup, John Owens and Kerry Hemsley. Naturally, everybody will be keeping their eyes on Steve Roach, as I said, making his welcome return to the first grade side, but also keep your eyes out for Paul Sirinen. Bill Anderson has given him another chance to try and cement his place back in the forwards for the all-important semi-final clashes. Well, that's Balmain. Let's take a look at Penrith, and here's David Fordham.
Well, thank you, Graham. The Panthers are, in fact, as per program. The team is Rob Robards, Brett Lobb, Cole Bentley, Mark Bevan and Glenn Nissen, Greg Clements and Doug Delaney the halves, the forwards of Vandervoort, Horton and Cartwright, Paul Ackery, Joe Vatanza the prop forwards, and the team will in fact be led by their captain and hooker, Roy Simmons. Well, very little is left in the 1987 season for the Penrith Panthers. In fact, their main problem could be nuisance value to this 87 premiership. Yesterday we saw Illawarra pose a big problem to Manly Warringah, but Manly got out of that, in fact, secure the minor premiership for season 1987. And a man that played a big part in that Manly win is the man that will join us for sideline comments tonight, Noel Cleal. Well, Illawarra nearly did it to Manly yesterday, Crusher. Can Penrith do it tonight to Balmain?
I think so, Dave. They're a very spoiling side, and with Roy Simmons as captain, you know, I've got the greatest regard for him, so I think they can really put, although that Balmain have a better side on paper, but the game's not won in the program, is it?
Well, we're seeing the Balmain side coming back to nearly full strength. A great battle now for positions in the forwards as they look towards the semi-finals. We obviously can expect some big games from your Kangaroo touring partners, Steve Roach and Paul Sirinen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how big Roachy goes, but I suppose he's lucky. It's a pretty cool night here, so his condition shouldn't wander too much. But, you know, although the Penrith pack's pretty inexperienced, I think they'll still, you know, they'll make them work hard to get a win.
OK, we look forward to your comments on the sideline tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
Noel Cleal, and as Noel mentioned, it is a very cold and wintry night here at Leichhardt Oval. Of course, Noel is a production assistant here with Channel 10. He'll be blanketed on the sideline while his workmates run round to bring you the coverage when we return on the other side of this break.
Leichhardt Oval, the venue. A gale force breeze blowing down from the southeast. It's really crumbing in, and Penrith are going to have the benefit of it in the opening stanza. Balmain kicking into it. Conlon gets the first ball away. And the referee in today's match, or this evening's match, is Mr. Annesley, Graeme Annesley. I'd imagine the kicking game will be on very, very early from Penrith. It'd be absolutely stupid to ignore a breeze of such dimensions. Simmons at dummy half. Out to Ackery, who's a late replacement in the game. He's come in for one of the players there, Goodwin, Matt Goodwin. Now, penalty against the Balmain side for infringement in the 5. And this, I don't know who's going to do the line kicking as yet, but he should be able to aim fair way downfield.
Well, there's the man looking on himself, Greg Alexander. He would have been involved with a kicking game. Greg Clements with the duties from general play and also from the penalty situations.
Now Simmons. Under the Tanza. Not a bad running forward, this player. He's got the ability to offload. Joe Batanza. Simmons up the blind side, they attack. Little Delaney. Well, that's got to be a penalty, surely. Yes, ridiculous work by Schofield. Showed complete lack of knowledge of the rules to tackle the player in the field of play and carry on with it.
Absolutely no argument there. Crazy decision there by Schofield to try and drag him across the sideline, and a shot at goal from Mark Bevan. He was asked the question from the halfway line by his skipper Royce Simmons if he wanted to have a kick from the last one. I'm quite sure in the second half, as we turn around with the Tigers and that breeze at their backs, you'll see Ross Conlon certainly not turning down any attempts on the halfway or even 5 or 10 metres into his own side.
Well, so strong is this breeze here that I suggest he'll be aiming outside the right hand upright by maybe 3 or 4 metres, because the power's going to go off as soon as the pace goes off the kick. It'll come away, it'll blow backwards. Now, unless I'm completely wrong, that's what will happen. Anyway, we shall see. He's 3 metres outside the quarter, a metre in from the sideline, and here he goes. Bevan. Well, it's a miserable kick. Hooked it, didn't even kick it dead. Scott Gale's got it and has busted out to the 10-metre line. Good run from Gale. Owens on to Sirinen. Sirinen's going, he's gone. Got a pass away, it went to ground. I think Penrith have come up with it, they have. Looks like Brett Lobb fell on that. Moving it out along their line to Ackery. Out there to Cartwright. Cartwright caught by one leg. Joe Batanza receiving treatment down in the quarter. Van der Voot belted backwards. Good defence by Sirinen again. Simmons, Delaney. Only a tiny little player, this fellow, but an enormous rap on him from the Penrith club. Clements, kick over the top, will be taken by Davidson, drops it. The ball's there for anybody, but Davidson gets to it very quickly again and stop the dregs.
Good early pressure from Penrith, good kicking game. They've been looking for touch and finding it consistently, and now the little chip just to vary that kicking game, and good chasing from their outside backs. They've got a good balanced pack in tonight, Penrith, and whilst Greg Alexander's missing the danger men of Van der Voort, Houghton and John Cartwright, a good back three.
Clements on there to Bentley. We've got the play into Balmain's quarter. Van der Voot. Dutch origin. Simmons. Cleverly throwing dummies there, retained the ball himself and went through. Ackery was Batanza was tackled on suspicion. Clements, little grubber kick. The chase is on. Robards is flying for it, and Gale has to hasten, dive and knock it over the dead ball line. Good work from Penrith, keeping the pressure on, and they'll get the ball back.
Making no mistakes, Penrith with this solid breeze at their backs, and again another variation. Clements along the ground this time, and only the pace of Scotty Gale tidying the situation up, and Balmain really having to pull out the big ones here to stop the points from going on the board.
Great play by Gary Jack, just brought the play out from 10 metres outside his line to beyond the quarter. Elusive running, changed direction, it was very good to watch. Now to Gale, Gale on to Hemsley, Hemsley's ploughing forward. About 17 metres from the halfway line. Gale, cut out pass out to Pearce. Pearce has broken a tackle, gets up, continues on over the halfway. It's a long run from Pearce, gets gets it to Schofield. Schofield sprinting. He's going to be caught from behind by Henson. I told you that lad had pace. Now they've got it on a string out here, Balmain. There's Scott Gale trying to go up there. Oh, and Schofield couldn't accept the return pass. And now there's another intercepted pass. And it's been taken by Balmain, but the penalty's been awarded. Pass off the ground. See it again.
There's the incident. The ball was coming back inside here from Scott Gale, right under the black dot. Beautiful pass served up to Schofield, and he just couldn't control it. Penrith took the play on, and John Cartwright trying to get the ball off the ground. And 2 points to get us underway for the scoring from right in front here for Ross Conlon.
Well, it looked odds on a try there. Gale turned. Schofield was there. The pass went slightly too hard, and that was the end of the section. Actually, Penrith have hung on pretty well. They've been stretched all through this match. They've hung on pretty well. Now, the inexplicable can happen in rugby league. The team that's running into a gale can play very solid football. Happens on a weekly basis here in Sydney. We talk about the wind. Here's Conlon. Well, he's got success with his first kick. It was only a very easy kick. Balmain 2, Penrith 0. And we come back, Balmain leading 2 points to 0. We've got a Balmain player down injured at the moment. Roach has got hold of the Penrith player. And there was a funny one. Glenn Nissen, the ball bounced behind him and he didn't know where it was. Turned and looked around, couldn't see it. Anyway, he's been put out heavily by, I think, Pearce. But we've got a player being treated there at the moment. Identify that one for us, David William, and also have a bit of a chat with Crusher about what he would do in this situation.
Well, Peter Davis, the man that's been injured for the Balmain side, he's back to his feet now, which is a good sign for the Tigers. But obviously that 2-point lead into this breeze, Crush, is a bonus to the Balmain side, particularly with the goal-kicking skills of Ross Conlon to be looked forward to in the second half. But Penrith have had their opportunities, but just can't crack this very, very good defence.
Yeah. Another thing is too, David, the Balmain players are holding them down and tackles a little bit longer than what the Penrith are with Balmain, so it's allowing them to stand in tackles and hit the advantage line as well. So, you know, with this breeze or not, they're in a bit of strife.
Some holes look like opening up here, though.
Okay, well, we'll come back to the action here with good stuff out there in the wing between Pearce and Davies. Now it's Gale. Gale props, goes forward, gets a pass away to Schofield up the middle of the ruck. A short, easy way. Owens a dummy half. Gale, Conlon, Sirenen. Sirenen pushes his man off. He's charging for the line, gets a pass away to Davidson, and Davidson flying round and scored a try. That's first-class stuff from Sirenen, and I'm sure his coach would be very, very delighted at the return to form this player's showing tonight. See it again.
Yes, Paul Sirenen getting nice and deep tonight. Here he is charging off Ross Conlon. Just too much strength out wide for the Penrith backs. And for a big man, look at him run. Can't he stretch out? Matching it with pace with the outside backs. John Davidson, a much better finisher than he is given credit for in the Sydney Winfield Cup. And this try has been coming for some time. Only the last couple of passes have been falling down for Balmain. They've been making all the breaks up the middle and out wide. Wayne Pearce giving all sorts of problems for the Penrith Panthers, and this try just had to come. The Penrith side just can't keep hanging on. They've been kicking well from general play, but the sheer weight of possession now in the last 5 to 10 minutes starting to tell its tale, and a big man like Sirenen's going to cause havoc out wide in the second half, as is the likes of Scotty Gale, because Penrith are just failing to put those first men down in the rucks.
Having a good look at the equation. And he couldn't solve that equation because the breeze was just a bit too difficult for him. Tended to hook the ball, so the score remains Balmain 6, Penrith 0. And we've had some pretty good football despite the low scoring. Balmain's try came from Davidson after good work from Sirenen, and Conlon's 1 goal from 2 attempts. Note, Bevans had 1 shot at goal, was unsuccessful. 6-0 Balmain lead. Setting up the play. Simmons, Delaney throws the dummy. Only about 18 metres out from the line. Robards takes over as a forward in the ruck. That'll be a penalty to Penrith. Sirinen was standing behind him. He'd got to his feet very quickly, the Penrith player, and Sirinen tried to pull him back. See it again.
No argument here. 5 minutes gone in the second half, and Balmain leading by that 6 points to nil, but putting pressure on themselves. There he was trying to get away, quick play of the ball, toe the ball forward. Sirinen says, no, you don't. Now the chance for Penrith with the 2 points to get into the game.
Kick about 15 metres off centre. He's got it. So the score now is Balmain 6, Penrith 2. And that's apparently the way this Balmain side have approached the game. Pearce, a move work there. He's gone right round the side of the scrum, gets a pass back at the inside. It's the Gale. That's a beautiful try. That is a dream try. Laid on, a crackpot move, and absolutely beautiful. See it again, it's a beauty.
The former Rothmans medalist, Wayne Pearce, goes the blind. Beautiful combination here with Scotty Gale. He's had a superb game. A man that led by example in the first half, showing plenty of pace there from Scotty Gale. Nobody's going to catch him in a situation backing up there on the inside. They needed the spark to get them rolling in this second half. They started the first 7 minutes. Here, this last 40 minutes, really back on their heels, making mistakes and just waiting for things to happen. Well, Captain Wayne Pearce decided, I'm going to start this to roll for us. Away he went down the blind side, plenty of support from Scott Gale, back up on the inside. And now the pressure well and truly on Penrith, and the floodgates might just start to open.
Yes, it may well have taken that to get them back, their minds back on the job. Conlon now from directly in front. Kicks the goal, so Balmain 12, Penrith 2. And now for Penrith, the same, inside the 5. 12 points to 2, Balmain lead. And now we'll see Conlon's goal-kicking prowess from his own side of halfway. I'd say he's an odds-on certainly to kick the ball the distance and kick it dead. How would you like to have somebody like this in your team for goal kicking? I know Manly have got a couple of good goal kickers, Crusher and Michael O'Connor and Mal Cochran.
Yes, mate, we're lucky in that respect. On the same token, he's got a big boot, Ross Conlon, and I wouldn't have liked to have him for a father.
Crusher, he might have something to aim at there too.
He was a humorist of note and quick at repartee.
Thanks, Graeme.
Been rehearsing that one for a while, though, Riggs. Yeah, he's just waited the opportunity.
I just fed it to him beautifully. Conlon kicks. He's kicked the goal. Didn't kick it dead, but he's kicked the goal. It's a beautiful goal. 14 points to 2. Balmain lead Penrith.
We've got Mark Carroll on the touchline, also big Mark Geyer in number 35, and Craig Connor. I believe that the 2 second-row forwards, Horton and Cartwright, are coming off, and also the lock forward Vandervoort. So we'll see a total restructure of the Penrith side as they go.
Lobs in for the try. It's a good try. We just caught that. But Brett Lobb took the pass, a long pass, and took it well and dived over, outdistanced the Balmain coming across, and it was a good one. See it again.
They've been threatening to get back into the game. Balmain really not making the most of their opportunities in the second half. Certainly caught out numbers-wise as the long ball went out to Brett Lobb, and over he goes. Gary Jack too late on the scene. But Balmain have had all the possession in the second half. Just the one try on the board for them in this second 40 minutes so far. And the long ball out to Lobb as he crashes over. And Balmain with a few worries on their mind if this kick goes over from out wide from Bevan. Gives them the opportunity of another try to maybe leave us with a drawn situation tonight. But good passing in the Penrith backline. They had the numbers. They drew their men perfectly. Copybook stuff out in the corner.
So Mark Bevan to take the kick and goal. The score at the moment is 14 points to 6. Well, it's a miserable kick. Very ordinary, as you saw. Nothing to describe there. So the score remains Balmain 14, Penrith 6. Well, they look all pumped up, Balmain, as if they've got plenty of football, good football in their mind. The kick downfield by Clements is taken nicely by Cameroon. Stops, props, comes back the way he went. Gary Jack. He's running sideways and is treated as such. Owens, here's a go for Schofield. He's right up the middle of the field. It's a good run. He's still going. Taken play into the Penrith quarter. Scott Gale at dummy half. Cameron. Pearce away to Sirinen. Sirinen out there to Davidson. And Davidson in for the try. That's the way Balmain hit back for the answer. No doubt about it. Good stuff.
They've certainly got the ability to pull it out when the pressure's on, and the pressure was on. Penrith climbed back into the game. And Balmain, the messages were going out from Billy Anderson to lift their performance. Also Wayne Pearce doing plenty of screaming and shouting out there. He's led by example. Good pick off on the short blind here. Everybody just drew their man perfectly. Paul Sirinen. Well, he's been quiet in the second half, but he ran onto the Pearce pass here, drew the defensive Brett Lobb in, leaving that space there for John Davidson. And he knows how to finish the try. Diving over there in the corner, and Balmain back on the rails. And that change has been made in the Tiger lineup now. Sirinen, the man coming off, and Kevin Hardwick out there in 21.
Sirinen found the perfect advantage of giving and receiving and giving a good quick pass there. He did it in one motion. Davidson had a clear run to the line. If he'd laboured over giving the pass, the opportunity would have closed. 18 points to 6. Balmain lead Penrith. About 5 minutes to go. Conlon attempting the goal. He will aim to the right of the right-hand upright. Hey, look at it curl away. Gee whiz, the breeze really took that. So the score remains Balmain 18, Penrith 6, all down through Balmain's history. In the time that I've known them, they've always had good finishes on the flank. Very professional players. Here he is again, Davidson. Oy. Good back slam there. A little bit of a altercation, a little bit of headbutting, and now there's a punch going in. And they're still at it. Mark Carroll getting vitally concerned with him. Now Roach and Guy are having a push and shove. 10 minutes in the sin bin, so that sees the end of the section for both of them. Well, Davidson's got no chance of increasing his tally now. Owens, Schofield, held a pass up, got it to Conlon, back to Schofield. Got it then to Hardwick, who's found a roving commission and came through the middle. He's only about 8 metres out. So just they go right here at the moment. Balmain got an opportunity out there. Gary Jack. Pass went. Well, it's a try. I don't see who the pass went to. I think we'll have to see, wait and see. It ricocheted off Scott Gale. Yeah, Scott Gale picked up the dregs and went in for a try. That came to him very curiously. See it again. Steve Roach looking for the short ball here to Gary Jack. Jack in turn trying to unload the ball there to Ross Conlon. The referee waved that it was touched in flight by a Penrith man. Scotty Gale just waiting for the ball. They always had the numbers out wide. They couldn't get it there cleanly. Gary Jack being held up here. If we can pick it up from this angle, well, looking at from that side, looking as though it might have come off Conlon and gone forward, but Annesley ruling that Penrith touched the ball and straight into the hands of Scotty Gale. And two Balmain players coming up with double try situations tonight. Scott Gale just scored his second. John Davidson scored 2. And they have been the try scorers for the Balmain side. Conlon will attempt the extras from just outside the quarter and about 4 metres in from the sideline. Away she goes, and no goal. So the score remains Balmain 22, Penrith 6. That's the end of the section. The scorers for the Balmain side in 22 points. There were a couple of tries scored, 2 to Davidson. There were 2 to Gale, and the goals were kicked by Conlon. There it is, 3 goals to Conlon, 2 tries to Davidson and Gale, 1 try to Lobb for Penrith, and 1 goal to Bevan. So 22 points to 6. Balmain have defeated Penrith.
Still some important clashes yet to come in the Winfield Cup. Let's take a look at those matches for you next weekend. Firstly, Cronulla and East, West and Balmain, Parramatta up against St George, Manly and North. That all-important clash between South and Canberra, which will decide who just stays in and out of the top 5, and Canterbury up against Illawarra, with Penrith enjoying the bye. I trust that you enjoyed all the action at the week of Sydney Rugby League. I'm Graeme Hughes. Until we go around next time, goodbye for now.